Hello, everyone. My name is Miriam Babayan. I'm the Outreach Coordinator at CAMFT, the California Association of Marriage and Family Therapists. And I'm here today to tell you a little bit about CAMFT, what we do, and how we're here to help you on your road to licensure and also after you're already licensed. So a little bit about who we are. We are the largest state representative of the interests of marriage and family therapists. So we're your professional trade association. We have 28 regional chapters across the state and over 31,000 members. About half of all our members are pre-licensed, so students and interns. So because you're such a huge part of our membership, a lot of what we do is very specifically geared towards making your experience as you become licensed as pain-free and as enjoyable as possible. So very briefly, what is it that we do? So in a nutshell, we advocate. We advocate for LMFTs and MFT students and interns in Sacramento and DC. We provide educational resources for you, and these are resources that you can use while you're a student, while you're taking classes, and also resources that you can keep coming back to after you're already licensed if you need to look things up or if you're beginning a private practice. This is information that's always going to be at your fingertips. We provide tons of networking opportunities. This can't be stressed enough. Networking is going to be something that is really going to be how you meet your colleagues, how you make those connections that are going to be lifelines for you in your career. And you can start doing that with us. We give you all the resources to do that. So we are here also to promote the professional development of LMFTs and help you get those CEs that you're going to need while you're becoming licensed and even afterwards. So just very briefly, there is sometimes a little bit of confusion about who we are in relation to the BBS. And if you're not already familiar with the BBS, you'll become incredibly familiar with them. But it's really important just to understand the divide line in terms of where the BBS stops and where we begin, because it's really going to help you understand a little bit more about what it is that we can do for you. So the BBS, the Board of Behavioral Sciences, they're the ones that administer all of your licensing exams. They're the regulatory body that oversees both your degree process and also your license. They establish all of the educational requirements, all of your clinical experience requirements, all your continuing education requirements, and they also act as a regulatory and disciplinary body. So they have the authority to process legal and ethical claims against both MFT interns and trainees and also LMFTs. So where do we come in? How are we involved here? So we basically take all of these regulations and all of these requirements that the BBS has, and we help you stay in compliance. We're here to sort of guide you along and just make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. We help you stay in compliance with your profession's licensure, legal, and ethical requirements as laid out by the BBS. We also recommend improvements to BBS procedures and decision-making strategies just to ensure that the process of getting licensed and of remaining licensed is as smooth as possible for you. And finally, we petition state and federal legislators to pass laws for you and also influence the BBS to fix those regulations that may not be working as well as they could. So the benefits of membership. What is it that you can look forward to as a member of CAMFT? So in a nutshell, we'll be going over these in a little more detail. Representation and advocacy. We have a lobbyist in DC and Sacramento that's there to fight for laws that are going to be to your best advantage. We have tons of professional resources that you can look to, professional development, free legal consultation, and this is probably one of our most sought after services. This is where we help you stay just one step ahead of BBS legal and ethical requirements. There's oftentimes a lot of ethical gray area, and one of the benefits of membership is that you have the opportunity to call unlimited calls 365 days a year, anytime between the hours of 8:45 and 4:30, and we have licensed attorneys on staff that are there to help you and guide you through those tough gray areas. And then networking opportunities and also opportunities to market yourself. And that's going to be one of the goodies that we're going to talk a little bit more about. Professional resources. So what are these resources that we have for you? So first of all, for students especially, this is probably one of the big ones, free student liability insurance. For the entire time that you are a student, we pay for your liability insurance. This is going to be incredibly important once you are trainees and once you take on clients. The liability insurance is really going to become important. And after you're no longer a student, after you're ready to start your internships, we do also offer the liability insurance at a discounted rate. So it's no longer free after that point, but it is discounted. So you never pay full price while you're a member of CAMPT. A subscription to the Therapist magazine. This is one of our most popular benefits, just because it is your lifeline to basically the profession. All of the trends, all of the hot up and coming things that are happening in the profession are going to be brought to you in this publication. This is a peer-edited journal written by your colleagues for you, for your colleagues. And it's really just going to be something that allows you to stay just one step ahead of the game and really understand what's out there, where maybe you want to get further training, and what the world of therapy really looks like. And the great thing about that is in each issue we publish at least a couple legal and ethical pieces written by our attorneys. And the wonderful thing about that is those are specifically based upon the most popular phone calls that we get through the legal hotline. So if there is a new law that's passed, a new code that's amended, and it's causing a little bit of uncertainty in how to apply it, how to go about dealing with clients to comply with this law, if we see that a lot of our members are struggling, we'll put out an article and we'll make sure that you understand how the law works and how you need to go about to move forward. EBSCO host. So why Google when you can EBSCO? That's sort of our motto. EBSCO is a really informative database with thousands of both national and international research articles. This is going to be valuable for you as a student if you're writing papers. This is going to be valuable for you if you need to look up information even while you're licensed. And access to that is free. Your subscription to that is free. It comes as a part of your membership. So going off of that, online articles, as I mentioned before, all of the articles that are included in the Therapist magazine, the peer-edited articles, as well as the articles written by our staff attorneys, are also all available online, and they're all cataloged based on both the topic and also the author. So if you have, if one of our staff attorneys is just somebody that you think is great and writes really well, you can search for him or her by name. And all that is available online for your convenience. So you have the print resource, and you can also go online and search for that. The CAMPT website, in and of itself, is a fantastic resource. Everything that I'm talking to you about today can be found online in as much detail as you'd like. And it's all we actually just upgraded our website. So everything is cataloged to be easy to navigate, easy to find. So I urge you to go online, www.campt.org. And browse around and see what we have to offer. Our job board. So we have State CAMPT has a job board that is accessible via the membership-only portion of our website that you will have access to as members. So this is where all of the internship openings and also private practice opportunities for both interns and licensed clinicians are available. I urge you to check it often if you are looking for a job. This is sort of the go-to. We're always in talks with agencies, with supervisors, and they all have access to this board. So anytime people are hiring interns, anytime an agency is looking for clinicians, this is really the place that it's going to get posted. So we really urge you to keep that in mind. And alongside this, your local chapters also have their own job boards, and I'll be talking about chapter membership a little bit later on. But keep in mind that this is one of the ways that we're here for you throughout the process. If you're looking for work as an intern, we're here for you. If you're looking for work even as a clinician, if you're maybe 10 years into your practice, you're looking to change things up. Maybe if you want to, there's a specific agency that you want to maybe start looking into. We give you the opportunities to find opportunities. Our clinical and pre-licensee member newsletters. So as a member, you will be getting our e-newsletter every month. As a pre-licensee, you'll be getting our special pre-licensee member newsletter. And this is geared specifically towards issues that are just pertinent to pre-licensee members. Any BBS regulations that have come out that you need to be aware of, any important events that are coming up that are good for you to be aware of if you want to attend. This is information that we always try to keep at your fingertips. Track your hours. Most, if not all of you, are already familiar with this. So this is a program that makes it easier for you to organize your internship trainee hours as you go along your road to licensure, collecting your hours. So this basically just organizes everything for you. It's a fantastic resource, and you are able to get it at a discount as a CAMP member. So that's also important to keep in mind. And finally, our Certified Supervisor Program. So the BBS has a program through which they certify clinicians who are eligible to be supervisors for interns. So CAMP, we actually have our own certifying program. We have to be in compliance with the BBS because they set forth the minimal requirements for the supervisors. But we have our own because we want to give you super supervisors. So our program is incredibly rigorous. We take them, a few steps above and beyond the minimal BBS requirements just to ensure that you get the best supervision possible. So as a pre-licensed member, you do get access to the entire list of CAMP certified supervisors. So once you're ready to really look into an internship, get a supervisor, you have that at your fingertips as well. So professional development. Oftentimes, students and interns wonder, okay, well, so you're a continuing education provider, like we can get our continuing education credits through you. Great. Well, I mean, I'm not licensed yet, so why does it matter for me? Well, oftentimes supervisors will count CE hours as internship hours. That's part of your 3,000 hours. So if not for that, it's also really great to sit in on these workshops, to do these self-studies, just to from the as early as possible, really get a sense of the profession, really get a sense of what's going on out there, and at the same time gain hours towards your 3,000 hours. So really, it's a win-win, and we provide tons of opportunities for that. Whether you're looking more into self-study because maybe you can't travel as much, webinars, same thing, or if you can get on the road, if you can go to one of our fall symposiums, our fall and winter workshops, our annual conference, which is held every May, or one of our legal and ethical seminars that are held at the chapter level. There are very many opportunities. Whatever your style is, whatever you prefer, it's there for you. And these are also amazing networking opportunities because if you go to some of the live events, this is where you meet. This is where you meet people that can help you find a job. This is where you meet people that can be lifelong colleague contacts for you throughout your career. So the Certified Supervisor Program, so you're probably wondering why this is back on here. Well, not only is it a tremendous resource for you while you're an intern looking for a supervisor, but it is also a fantastic resource for you after you become licensed because you can be on the other end of it. You can actually participate in the Certified Supervisor Program as a supervisor. And the reason why this is so valuable is because we've had so many people go through the program who have come back and said, and I mean this sounds cliche, but it's so true. You don't fully understand something unless you're able to teach it. And a lot of the people who have gone through the program have found it incredibly rewarding and incredibly beneficial to them as clinicians. Like the act of supervising somebody, the act of passing on knowledge, oftentimes just helps you become a better therapist. So that's definitely there for you for your own professional development after you're licensed. And finally, scholarships and grants. So every summer, we put out the new application packet. So it should be coming out relatively soon. So we have 3 scholarships and a grant every year that's offered. And I cannot urge you enough to apply to this. This is a tremendous opportunity to get a stipend to help you if your internship is unpaid, help you with costs, or even to help you with tuition if you're a student. We have at least two scholarships that are entirely based on helping you actually fund the program that you're in. So please be on the lookout for that. The deadline for that is December 31st of every calendar year. So you have almost 6 months to really get online, get it figured out, get the application done, get the essays in. And I can't urge this enough. This is just a fantastic resource, and there are funds out there. We know it can be very tough a lot of times, just with tuition costs and with unpaid internships. So we're really here to try to help you as much as we can with the costs. So networking, and again, this cannot be stressed enough. So the different live events that I mentioned before, where you can get your CE credits as interns towards your 3,000 hours or as licensed clinicians. The live events where you can do that, the annual conference, and then we have, like I mentioned before, our fall and winter workshop, and also our fall symposium. But in terms of networking, the annual conference and also Camp Connects are really the two big things that you should really have on your horizon. Camp Connects is a program that we've recently started a couple years back, and what happens is we get the camp board of directors together with local chapter leaders, members of chapters, and also camp staff. And they're very similar to town hall meetings, and we'll have it in a few locations throughout the state. So there's always going to be at least one that is relatively close to you, where you can drive, fly, walk, whatever's convenient. And this really is where we want to hear what we can do. If you are a student, if you're an intern, if there are certain issues that keep coming up that you want your professional association to address, this is where you can voice that opinion. And we are very eager to have you come. And this is important for us because that's how we know how to help you as your trade association. So we definitely urge you to come to the Camp Connects meetings. And again, a fantastic networking opportunity. This is where you meet people. The annual conference, this is a 4-day event that we hold every summer in May. And we often have opportunities for pre-licensed members who want to serve as volunteers and also get 50% off the cost of admission. So if you are interested in attending, definitely look into that. It's a fantastic opportunity. And you can find information about that in the educational opportunities section of our website, www.camp.org. And again, just a fantastic place to meet both experts, people who are presenting, and also licensed clinicians like you soon will be, who about 500 attend every year. So fantastic opportunity to meet people. If you're somebody who prefers to do your networking online, well, that's great news. We have the opportunities for that as well. The Camp Community Online is our member forum. And as a member, you have complete access to that. So, and what's great about this is that you can join groups based upon your interest, based upon your geographical location, based upon your status, whether you're pre-licensee, whether you're licensed, whether you're a supervisor, and if you want to discuss supervision issues. There's really a group for everyone. And if you don't see a group that fits your needs, you can create a group. Anybody can create a group and invite other members to come and start a dialogue. And finally, volunteer opportunities with Camp. This is also an amazing networking opportunity. We have 18 committees, and we encourage pre-licensed members as well as clinical members to apply to serve on a committee, and also chapter board service. And we'll talk about chapter membership in a bit here. It's one of our most amazing services that we can provide you. But if you are somebody who really likes to get your feet wet, who really likes to network, meet people, get your career to that next level, being on the board of directors of a chapter is really the way to go. And they are always so eager for young, pre-licensed, fresh faces. So please look into that. So the legal consultation hotline. So this is probably one of our most popular member benefits. So you have free unlimited access to our Camp call center attorneys for advice on all legal, ethical, business, and licensure-related matters pertaining to practice. And I mean, this is just a laundry list of some of the issues that frequently come up from how to properly advertise your new private practice, to consent issues if you're dealing with a child and a parent together, internship issues if you are an intern, managed care issues, record keeping, the scope of practice, the scope of competence. All of these issues continually come up, and there are several more that aren't on here, but please use this as a resource. There's always going to be gray area, and we really are here to help you just stay just 1 or 2 steps in front of that. So this is my favorite part. Get connected with your local chapter, and I cannot stress this enough. We have 28 chapters across the state, so there's always at least 1 or 2 in your geographical area, and we urge you to join at least one. So as a pre-licensee, what are the benefits of joining a chapter? Well, regular support groups, and these are going to be valuable to you as a student and also as an intern. We have support groups for exam preparation, for how to evaluate internships, for how to deal with problems related to being a trainee or being an intern. And these are really important. These are really important groups to become involved in, because oftentimes they are chaired by licensed clinicians in the area who can and do become your mentors as you are trudging along the road to licensure. Networking opportunities, again, through your local chapter. This is the networking hub. Despite all of the many live events and online opportunities to network with CAMFT, your local chapter is really where a lot of this is just going to blossom and come to fruition. Free mentor programs for support and guidance, 3,000 clubs. So most, if not all, of our chapters have a 3,000 club, and these are specifically geared towards interns who are wherever you are on that road to gaining your 3,000 hours. There is a support network to help you understand, okay, well, what happens when I'm ready to submit my paperwork? What if I need a second set of eyes to look through it? This is where you get that support. Training and professional development. So you can also get CE credits through chapters. And again, if you're an intern, these hours can also count towards your supervision hours. So chapters are an incredible way to get that exposure as well. Leadership opportunities. We just talked about this briefly. The board of directors of your chapter is a fantastic way to get more involved. And finally, access to local practicum internship job directories. So all of the chapters have their own job boards in addition to the state camp job board. And these are going to be fantastic resources for you, because a lot of these job opportunities, internship opportunities, are going to be at the local level. So if you are a member of the LA chapter, the LA job board is going to tell you about opportunities in the LA area if you wish to stay in the LA area. Use that. Use our job board. There's just so much there for you to tap into. And finally, marketing. So, and I know that, as pre-licensees, you're probably thinking, oh gosh, I just want to pass my exams. I just want to get my 3,000 hours. I just want my license. I'll think about marketing later. That is the biggest mistake you can make. Start marketing early, start marketing often, and we give you the tools to help you do that. Our job board, which I've already mentioned, and also Counseling California. So as a member, you will have the opportunity to create a profile for yourself on Counseling California. Counseling California is the public directory to find a therapist. So any member of the public who is looking for therapy is able to log on to Counseling California and seek out therapists based on geographic area, based on practice area. And if you're on there, guess what? Your name pops up, and you might get referrals. You might get people contacting you, and you can do this even as a pre-licensee. So we definitely urge you to take advantage of this to really get your name out there, because ultimately, being a member of the trade association like CAMFT is really going to be your lifeline to building your reputation, to getting your name out there, to letting it be known that you've made it, you're here. You're ready to be a fantastic resource for people in the community who really need therapy services. So just to recap, there are so many opportunities available to you as a pre-licensee. So we really need to really drive home that it is never too early. It is never too early to join your professional association. So what are the things that you have to look forward to if you join as a student or as an intern? As a student, you're free student liability insurance, tons of scholarship opportunities, access to educational materials, the EBSCO research database, our certified supervisor program. While you're an intern looking for a supervisor, fantastic resource. But also keep in mind, this is something you can come back to even after you're licensed if you want to go through the program as a clinician. The Track Your Hours discount that you'll be eligible for once you're at that point where you are seeing clients and you do need to start tracking your hours towards licensure. Internship opportunities on our job board and also on the job boards of your local chapter. And again, with the local chapters, mentorship and local support via that chapter membership is going to be absolutely indispensable for you. And also leadership opportunities, giving back to your chapter, and also becoming a voice, just becoming a voice for MFT students, trainees, and interns. We give you the opportunity to do that. And ultimately, we really get just as much as we give. By giving you these opportunities to really become leaders, by really becoming the best therapist that you can possibly be, it helps us because every success of yours we're able to take and we're able to use that to understand, okay, this is what works, this is what we need to do more of, and really just making the experience of being a marriage and family therapist as rewarding as possible. So with that, please look us up on Facebook, Twitter, and also LinkedIn. And don't forget to visit the website, www.camp.org. Everything that we discussed today is going to be on there in probably more detail than you want. So with that, thank you very much, and good luck to you.
Miriam, we're so grateful that you came to speak to us. I'd like to ask you just a couple of specific questions. First of all, could you go into a little bit more detail on the scholarship and grant opportunities for pre-licensed members?
Absolutely. So we have 4 total that we give out per year, 3 scholarships and also a grant. So there's the Ronald Lunsford, the Clinton E. Phillips, the Educational Foundation Scholarship, and the Educational Foundation Grant. Now that's a mouthful, I know. You're going to become very familiar with it, like once you go and check out the application packet. And they all target very specific things. Our Ronald Lunsford Scholarship, for instance, is definitely targeted towards minority applicants. If you come from a minority background, if you are seeking to serve underprivileged communities, and this is sort of the path that you want to take and the background that you come from, there is that scholarship that is very ready to help you fund that endeavor. And the Clinton E. Phillips is the counterpart of the Ronald Lunsford, except it's open to everybody. So you don't have to be coming from a specific underprivileged background or wanting to necessarily work with specific communities in order to be eligible for that. So for both of those, really the only eligibility is that you be enrolled in a master's program and that you be working towards licensure. The Educational Foundation internship scholarship, so that's geared more towards interns. And those of you who want funding for a specific outside certification program, training program that maybe you're looking into, but you just don't have funding for it, that would be the one that you would go for. And then finally, the grant is open to even licensed members are eligible for the grant. So even after you've passed your exams and say there's a project that you're really excited to research and to look into, we can help you fund that if you apply for the grant. So really, this is a fantastic resource for you as a pre-licensee, but don't forget the grant. That's always there for you, even as a clinician, if you want to pursue something very, very special to you.
Excellent. Oops.
And just really quickly to bring up the amounts. So we actually were just able to get more funding for this program. So each of the scholarships are now for $4,500, and the grant is for $2,500. And both of those have been raised from previous years. So we're definitely looking to put much more resources into the scholarship program. So we really encourage you to take the utmost advantage of it.
Excellent. And there's also discounts for attending the workshops and the conference, etc., as members.
Yes.
Excellent. Also, isn't membership discounted for students?
Membership is discounted for students, so it's $70 a year, and that's if you're a student and also an intern. So unless you are licensed clinical, it's going to be $70, and I cannot stress like how minimal that is compared to the value of the services that you get. So all of the different services, the unlimited legal support, all of the professional database research, and also print resources that you have access to, all of that at the very end runs over at least $1,000, and you're getting all of those benefits for only $70 a year. So it really is worth it. Absolutely.
Plus, for pre-licensed members, the free liability insurance is at least half that cost. And so that's an excellent bang for your buck there, too.
Absolutely, and that as well as the other discounts you get, the Track Your Hours discount, the opportunity to post on Counseling California, which you get at an incredibly discounted rate if you're a member of CAMP. So definitely a lot of opportunities for you to get your name out there without really spending as much money as you normally would.
So financially, membership makes sense.
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you possibly go into some of the wonderful advocacy efforts that CAMP makes on members' behalf and on the behalf of the MFT profession?
Absolutely. So this is one of those member benefits that as pre-licensees, it's often difficult to sort of have that be like a front burner member benefit, because I realize you're very involved in passing your exams and getting through your classes and finding your internships and logging your hours, and that's fantastic, and we have a lot of resources to help you with that. But you should not discount what the advocacy effort is here to do for you. And the reason I say this is because as pre-licensed members, you are those members that we get the feedback from that allows us to know what advocacy efforts to pursue on your behalf. It's pre-licensed reps at the chapter board service level that are able to communicate with us and let us know what pre-licensees want. It's our pre-licensed board member on the state CAMP board that is able to let us know what we want. And so really, like your knowledge of this benefit and your eagerness to stay involved in these political issues that involve the profession are really important in terms of getting us the information that we need to help you. And just this past year, it's been fantastic in terms of advocacy efforts specifically geared towards pre-licensees. So this is something that we've been trying to get spearheaded and that we've been getting some success in. So this involves the maximum amount of hours that interns are able to gain credit for. So we've had tons of calls coming through the legal ethical licensure hotline from pre-licensed members, very frustrated because they're logging all these hours, but they can only count so many of them. Our pre-licensed reps at the chapter board level, this is also has been kind of a very, very common sort of area of frustration. Well, we were able to take all of that, and we were able to get a bill going, sponsor a bill that actually seeks to raise that maximum hourly amount that you're able to count. So in the 2015-2016 congressional cycle, this is going to be out there. So we're really excited for that. And again, I cannot stress we would not know to pursue this if it wasn't for pre-licensed members letting us know what it is that's valuable, what it is that's important. Off of that same vein, additional BBS exam graders. So the BBS, as I'm sure you will eventually come to know, is notorious for how slow things go. From getting your paperwork back to getting your exam results back, and that's been a really huge one. Again, so many calls from from pre-licensees who are waiting 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, sometimes even 8 or 9 months for exam results. And your life is on the hold. You can't really do much in that interim. So we were able to successfully petition the BBS to up their staff. So, and we've already started to see wait times just significantly plummet. And this has just made such an immense impact on our pre-licensed members, really being able to take the next step, move forward in their careers. And it may seem trivial, just getting more staff, but it's made such an incredible difference. Something else that we're really working to push for, Veterans Affairs. So many of our pre-licensed members are interested in working with veterans, but as the legal situation currently stands, unless you graduate from a COAMT accredited school, which most California MFT programs are not COAMT accredited, you are not eligible to work with the Department of Veterans Affairs. Huge outcry over that. So this is something that we believe very, very strongly about. This is something that we really want our members, pre-licensed members and clinical members, who have struggled and who have put in the hours to gain these skills, and who have the compassion to want to work with these populations. We want to give them every opportunity to be able to do that, free of any legal obstacles. So we're really working to be able to do away with that COAMT accreditation requirement, so that you're able to work, to intern, to be trainees at, and also be a clinical member clinicians at the Department of Veterans Affairs. And finally, and this is such a big one, we're so happy about this. So earlier this year, as most of you probably know, we were not able to bill directly for Medi-Cal MFTs, and that includes licensed MFTs and also interns. Well, as of last summer, this is a battle that we did win. So you are now able to bill for Medi-Cal, and one of the processes that we're currently overseeing is getting the application materials up online for interns to be able to bill through their supervisors. And it's actually free. There's no application fee for interns. You go through your supervisor's license. There's an application process online, and this is the type of information that you would get through the pre-licensee newsletter, through our website, through Pre-Licensee's Corner on our website. This is where we give you that information, like, hey, the application is up. It's time to start billing for Medi-Cal. Here's how you do it. Go online and do it. We're here to sort of guide you to really help you achieve these successes on the advocacy level, and then help you actually implement them practically. And then Medicare, this is the same battle we're fighting for Medicare, the same battle as for Medi-Cal, and hopefully with your help, this is going to be something that can be achieved on the horizon.
And we really, really appreciate everything that CAMP does to support their membership and the field of MFTs. I know that you've been working with AMPT together to help support the efforts to get rid of the buckets for licensure and for practicum, and so that's another excellent advocacy benefit that CAMPT is really working hard and diligently to help with. And I know that for our practicum trainees, having that supervision max raised to 6 hours on a weekly basis really makes so much of a difference. I know that 1 hour doesn't seem like much, but if you're getting group supervision, it makes them eligible to count additional hours of direct client contact. And we really, really appreciate your efforts in those areas.
You had outlined so many wonderful networking opportunities for CAMP members. I was wondering, from your perspective, if you would, what do you think some of the most valuable and effective networking opportunities are for the pre-licensed member?
That's a great question. For the pre-licensed member specifically, I cannot stress enough the networking opportunities available at the local level. The chapters are really going to be your lifeline as pre-licensees. aside from the 3,000 clubs, aside from the mentorship programs that you can become a part of at the chapter level, there are also so many different chapter events, speaker events, workshops that you can attend as a pre-licensee to really meet people, to meet other licensed clinicians in the community, to meet other pre-licensees in the community, or really just to, if an event features a topic that you're interested in, just to really go and to immerse yourself in that and meet other clinicians who have an interest, who might be hiring, who might be seeking interns, or even just to be able to have a dialogue with somebody in the field. It can do wonders in terms of really helping you take that extra step on the networking level. So the chapter is going to be absolutely crucial for that. And also one of our live events that is incredibly popular with pre-licensees, especially in recent years, the annual conference. And the reason I urge that is because we do offer a 50% admission discount for those who want to volunteer. And volunteering in and of itself is a fantastic learning experience because, I mean, you're there all 4 days for a couple hours a day, just immersed in the conference. And one of the wonderful benefits is that you get to come for half off. And this is one of the things that we do to really encourage our pre-licensees, especially, to take advantage of the annual conference. Because oftentimes, it just seems so overwhelming. Sometimes maybe it's not in your geographical area, but we really urge you to really immerse yourself as much as you can, to really to be where the ideas are, to be where the new conversations are in the field, where the experts are, where your colleagues are, and the annual conference is one of the best ways to do that as well.
You also mentioned, and I think this would be a surprise for some pre-licensed members, when we were discussing all of the opportunities for volunteer leadership within CAMP, that there are many that exist for pre-licensed members. Could you review a couple of those?
Oh, absolutely. So every chapter board has a pre-licensed rep position. So this would be the student or intern member who is the voice of pre-licensed members in that chapter. This is the person that perhaps runs the 3,000 Club, finds clinicians to help guide, to be mentors in the 3,000 Club, who is able to really get people together, to exchange ideas, to really to be supports for each other, and also to be the liaisons. I mean, because essentially that's what they are, the pre-licensed reps, the liaisons between the pre-licensed community in the chapter and Stay Camped. They're the ones that let us know, okay, this is what's happening. What's going on with the new exam requirements. Where can we go to find additional information on the new DSM-5 testing requirements, or are there any resources that you can suggest for ABC? This is what our students want to know. This is what our interns in our 3000 Club want to know. And this is information that we get, and this is information that these are the answers that we can give back to the pre-licensed rep. So the pre-licensed rep is really just an incredible liaison. Really, we depend very highly on each pre-licensed rep in the chapters, and also there is a pre-licensed rep on the state board who holds a similar position, only on the state level, and also committees. There are so many opportunities for pre-licensees to be members of committees, and actually there are, with the exception of maybe a couple, each committee actually encourages pre-licensed voices, because oftentimes the most energetic, the most up-and-coming, the most grounded voices tend to be the voices of the pre-licensees, because they are at the forefront of things that are changing. And this is what is so important oftentimes for even clinical members who maybe have been in practice for 20, 30 years, who are serving on a board, serving on a committee. So important for them to have sort of that pre-licensee sort of like energy there, because it brings in such a new and such a dynamic perspective, and it rounds things out, and it really helps the committees just do so much more.
We strongly encourage our students to participate at their county level chapters of CAMPT. And one of the best reasons for that is for the 3000 Club for the pre-licensed members. Can you say a little bit more about the 3000 clubs?
I actually just had the pleasure of sitting in on one of the local San Diego 3000 Club meetings, and it really opened my eyes to exactly just what this can do for you. And the best way that I probably heard it described was, it's really hard to know what we don't know. So oftentimes the struggle is just trying to figure out all those things that you need to keep in track. You need to sort of just have all the ducks that you have to have in a row. Just knowing what ducks you have to have in a row, that can be the struggle. And what the 3000 Club does is it brings together those people who are able to help keep you accountable, who are able to give you that information that you may not even know. For example, we had somebody who wanted to discuss the actual process to apply for an intern registration number. And he just brought his materials and was like, I'm ready, I'm ready to do this. And he had a couple of people just put a fresh pair of eyes on, and they found that he was actually missing something. And he wouldn't have known. He would have, it may have delayed his application if he didn't sort of have that group just really kind of look in and just make sure. So it really is just an incredible resource. Oftentimes, it's really easy to feel alone in this process. It's so overwhelming. There's so many things to keep track of. And the good thing is you don't have to do it alone, because the 3000 Club is a resource that can help you. And one of the great things about this, too, is they'll often invite speakers that will gear a presentation specifically for this population. For example, exam preparation companies will often come and speak at these 3000 clubs and really let the members know, hey, if you're struggling, here are resources that can help you study. This is something to look into. DSM-5 resources. I know there are companies that sort of specialize in selling materials that can help you with that. And these are things that like the best 3000 clubs really just they have their antennae out for all these resources, and they bring them into the club, and you go and you have all this at your fingertips. So I cannot urge you enough to just take advantage of that.
I know that recently Orange County Camp 3000 Club had someone come in and speak to marketing as well, which is something that's very foreign to early clinicians just starting out. So there are many benefits. Also, you have talked about the wonderful member benefit of having the staff of attorneys available to answer questions. Can you go into their area of specialization and their area of expertise a little bit, please?
Sure. So all of the attorneys that we have on staff are actually experts in this field of MFT licensure, ethical, and business law. So they have an incredible amount of knowledge between them, specifically about the things that pertain to MFTs, whether it's advertising laws for private practice, whether it's confidentiality and consent issues for psychology and therapy services, whether it's specific insurance issues or managed care issues for therapists. These are clinicians. I'm sorry. These are attorneys that are also constantly educating themselves every time a new regulation is passed, every time a law changes. They're educated on it as well. They become experts, even more so than they already are. So these really are issues that they immerse themselves in, and that is really at the core of their own professional competence. So they are very, 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 very knowledgeable and very well equipped to deal with the very specific issues that MFTs come across in practice. And something else that I'd like to add to that. So aside from the phone hotline, the attorneys are also available to do live presentations, and they often do. And This happens on the chapter level. Your chapter, every chapter at least once a year, will invite a camp staff attorney to do a legal and ethical presentation. So again, this is for pre-licensees. Like, this is a fantastic resource for you to actually go and to sit in and to do that workshop. And if you're an intern, you could quite possibly get internship hours for this. And the reason why I bring this up specifically for pre-licensees is that one of the presentations that our staff attorneys do is called the Road to Licensure, and it's specifically geared towards students and interns who are on this road, which can be incredibly daunting, can have just a lot of uphill, and they really do such a fantastic job of just laying out step by step what needs to happen. If any new regulations have come to pass that would affect the process in any way, this is where you would get that information. And being a member of a chapter, and this is where you would have access to that. One of the most popular member benefits that we provide is we are a continuing education provider approver, and we are also approved to provide CE credits. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that we can sign off on CE credits for our licensed members. But also, as a pre-licensee, please do not think that you should not go to these workshops and these events that advertise CE credit opportunities for licensed members. These are just as applicable to you. Not only are they a fantastic networking opportunity and a way for you to really maybe immerse yourself in a topical area that you're considering practicing in, or that you are very definitely going to be practicing in and you just want to be on the forefront of it. Those things aside, and they are very important, but as an intern, you actually can get hours counted towards your license by attending these events. Oftentimes, the CE credits can just be counted as hours towards your 3,000 hours, depending on your supervisor. And supervisors definitely encourage you to do this. So they really do incentivize you to attend by allowing them to be counted towards your hours, because I mean, really, this is only going to benefit you in the long haul.
You've outlined a great deal of member benefits. Just from the pre-licensee perspective, what are 2 or 3 of the most valuable or maybe even underutilized?
Right. So for students, free student liability insurance. This is a tremendous benefit. We will pay for your liability insurance, and this is going to be so valuable once you start to take on clients as a trainee, and especially being so new. It's very easy to just to feel like you're fumbling, but with the free student liability insurance, that's at least one worry that's maybe off your plate. So it's a tremendous benefit. Our chapter mentorship opportunities and 3,000 clubs, fantastic pre-licensee benefit. The certified supervisor program for interns, and also our job boards, the state camp level and also the chapter level for interns, both fantastic opportunities. And then finally, the legal consultations, especially for the trainees and for the interns who are new and who are just starting out. We really encourage you to if you feel like calling 3 times in a week is too much, we'll encourage you to call 6 times, because really it's so much better to have that peace of mind. If there's any potential for gray area, I mean, it's a tremendous learning experience for you, on your road to becoming a clinician, to really hash these issues out as you're going, to speak with our attorneys, and to really get the most out of what they can offer you about knowledge, in terms of knowledge about the law and how it impacts your day-to-day practice. So please take advantage of that. As you are new and as you are learning, this is really a fantastic way to go about it, and it's gonna get you in the practice of continuing to take advantage of that while you're licensed. Starting early is always good. And at the very same time, the reason we encourage our pre-licensed members especially to really take advantage of the legal consultation service is because when our staff attorneys do their live presentations, which they do on the chapter level and also at the annual conference and at the various workshops, they will often have a presentation that is targeted specifically for pre-licensees. And it's the types of calls that they get from pre-licensees that often determine the content of these presentations. One of the up-and-coming issues currently is the BBS restructure of some of the licensing requirements. We've been getting tons of calls about that, and there's actually going to be at this AC for the first time just a full-on legal presentation geared towards our pre-licensed members that just goes in tremendous detail about all the new requirements and all of the frequently asked questions and everything, all the checklists that you should keep in mind. So please take advantage of that. You know, the things that you bring to our attention legally, ethically, like the licensure issues, we definitely use that to give back to you as much information as we can.